Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we're going to be having a quick tropical update in the Atlantic. We're also going to be talking about for a decent chance for some flash flooding that'll be going across portions of Texas, southeast Oklahoma, and then eventually into Arkansas as well. So we're going to first start with the tropics here. As you can see, we now have tropical storm Nana that's formed just southwest of Jamaica. We also have Omar that's also developed a tropical storm between North Carolina and Bermuda. So that's kind of crazy to see Omar form. Earlier this morning, it was not forecast to become a tropical storm. Then it had another chance of becoming a tropical storm, and now it's another named storm. And these are some of the earliest, in name and O name storms on the record here. And this hurricane season has been breaking records for a long time now. So this is pretty ridiculous, and it's only the beginning of September. So I cannot imagine. Uh, September is your month with the highest amount of tropical activity, and here we are, September 1st. We already got an O name storm, so that's kind of ridiculous on that. But let's try not to get too sidetracked with that. We're gonna start off with tropical storm Nana here. And let's take a look into the latest forecast by the National Hurricane Center. They do expect this to become a hurricane before it makes landfall at Belize, Central America. They're eventually dying down into a tropical depression, getting into far southeast to portions of Mexico there. We do have tropical storm watches and warnings in effect for some of those regions in there, even including northern Honduras as well, and even portions of Mexico as well. So good news is this Nana has no threat to land for the United States, so that's some good news there. But if we want to take a look to hurricane models, we could take a look into that. You can see here, pretty good track. It's going to be continuing moving westward, eventually into the Eastern Pacific. So yeah, anybody. So we're going to see if this here starts to develop into the Eastern Pacific later on down the road. And here's the intensity here. I'll say it'll likely become a hurricane at this point here. It has no limiting factor, so it's pretty good to go on, you know, gain strength. So that's it from Tropical Storm Nana. Let's go and move on to Omar, which has sustained winds of 40 miles per hour at this time here between North Carolina and Bermuda. So we're going to click on that. We're going to take a look into their warning cone forecast here. You can see it's going to be briefly going to be a tropical storm. It's going to die down by late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. It'll be back down to a tropical storm and then eventually to a post tropical depression into northern Atlantic. But anyways, there is going to be no threat to land by Omar. If anybody's interested, we could take a look to the hurricane models, and you can see with the track here, no threat to land at all. And here's the intensity here. A few miles to keep it into a tropical storm, but I'll say it'll die down into a tropical depression fairly soon. So that's it from Tropical Storm Omar. I forgot to say that Nana has sustained winds of 50 miles per hour there as well. So this here just popped up here. This thing here does have a chance of developing. It has a 20% chance of developing in the next 5 days and 10% in the next 48 hours, which some models are picking it up actually. So we'll be keeping an eye on that, but I think it's a little bit too early to say of where it's going to be going. But again, we'll keep an eye on that closely. We also got to watch for this disturbance as well. We got a 50% chance in the next 5 days there. It's not expected to develop in the next 48 hours, but it has a pretty decent chance of developing in the next 5 days. But again, we'll keep an eye on these two systems very closely, and we'll have a better idea later down the road what we could be looking into. So that's it for the tropics side of things. So let's go and move on to the flash flood threat. That's actually going to be in the United States. The reason why I went through that so quickly because there's not really any threat to the United States. So we're just going to go through the tropics, which is went through the tropics very quickly on it because I don't think not much of anybody will be concerned. Which I know I do have a few viewers down into northern, south, in Central America. Some people are concerned about that. But we're gonna go through very quickly there, and that's what we just did. So let's talk about the flash flooding potential that we're going to cross portions of Texas, southeast Oklahoma, and eventually into Arkansas. Now, this is the next 3 days here. Forecast about the Weather Prediction Center. You can see a pretty good area of 3 to 5 inches of rain there across central Texas, which I believe this also does include Dallas and Fort Worth area as well. So you definitely have to keep an eye on the flash flooding threat for those regions in there. And you could see 3 inches of rain across western Arkansas. But one thing to notice, if we take a look to observe precipitation, look at across western Arkansas. Now this is about the past 3 days here. You can see there's one area in particular, it seems like got about 8 inches of rain there, and you're about to add on top of 2 to 3 more inches of rain. You know, that's really gonna bring up the threat for flash flooding, is because uh, the grass, the plants and stuff, they're not gonna be able to hold any more water because they just got this much rain in the past 3 days there. So that'll be definitely something to watch there as well. And the flash flood threat could continue up into Kentucky as well. Now keep in mind some isolated amounts here could be higher than what I'm trying to say here is some areas could see higher amounts than these numbers here, isolated areas. So like for example, 1 to 2 inches rain. Some areas could see well over 3 inches of rain. That is a possibility there. But you can see flash flood threat could continue into Kentucky in the next 3 days as well, even including southeast Missouri, southern Illinois, and northwest Tennessee. Now let's actually take a look at the excessive rainfall outlook here. So this is tomorrow here. You can see where I've been talking about there, where those folks already got so much rain for the past 3 days, and they're about to add on top of about 2, 3 inches, and some isolated areas could see higher than that. They got a high risk for excessive rainfall tomorrow, or you could say flash flooding. So flash flooding is definitely going to be a big concern for people that's in the high risk region, which is in the pink. You can also the moderate risk is still a pretty decent chance, which it does also include Dallas and Fort Worth, Little Rock as well. So we have to definitely watch this very closely tomorrow. So yeah, on that. And if we go move up to the northeast here, you can see the slight risk. Even in slight risk, you still have a possibility for potential flash flooding, which it extends all the way up into southwestern Ohio, southern Indiana, and central portions of Kentucky, and also southern Illinois, northwestern Tennessee, and southeastern Missouri as well. So really, anybody's in the moderate to high risk definitely really need to watch for flash flooding risk in those regions, but even in the slight risk area, which is in the O, you guys need to watch out for it as well. Now let's take a look into the forecast by the National Weather Service offices. Now this is the next 2 days, and this is their forecast of rainfall. It is going to look a little bit funky for some of these regions here. It's either because they haven't updated yet, or they're just disagreements here by the National Weather Service offices. But you can tell here what I'm talking about here. There's even some regions could reach 5.5 inches of rain to portions of central Texas, which could really bring up the flash flood risk. And again, where some areas already had, you know, above 3 inches rain, even up to 8 inches of rain, can still add on top of 2, 3, maybe even 4 inches of rain, which is definitely not good into some of those regions. And then later down the road, you can see some of these regions, really a general 1 to 2 inches of rain. But again, some of these areas here can see isolated amounts up to 3 inches of rain. So we're definitely have to really keep an eye on that fairly closely. So again, if anybody lives in central Texas, southeast Oklahoma, and then eventually into central Arkansas, please be keeping an eye on for some flash flooding because the odds of it's becoming a little bit higher down across some of those regions. But anyways, guys, this is all for you guys today. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys would like this video, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications so you're near from this upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put a comment section down below. All right, you guys questions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.